Oh, this is easy. I'm going to go over the zmodler and we're going to do extrude. Alright, I'm going to go over to the Intellize here and I'm going to set all these to number 1 and QQ. Alright, let's turn on polyframes and F key to frame it up. As you can see, I'm going to go ahead and move my cursor right in the middle of the cube. Alright, if I move it to the left, you can see these little, that line goes to the left. I move it up, line up, and one to the right, and one down. I want to move it exactly in the middle. Okay, now you can adjust this by going to the draw size and keep on adjusting it. What you want to do is you want to make the red circle, which is the radius, to fit the border of the cube. You can adjust this and keep on adjusting this till you find out where it goes. And sometimes it can be a little tedious. I mean, here's a little extra tip. You don't have to go this far. I mean, once you make a cube and you know what the settings are, you don't have to worry about it again. I know the settings to fit it is 100. Press 100 and tab key. Alright, this is going to fit. When I put my cursor right in the middle, everything's going to fit tight, nothing on the outside of the border of the cube. If for some reason you're having a hard time doing this, let's say we'll set this down here. I'm going to set up some hotkeys for the Z plugin and miscellaneous utilities, and this is the brush size here. And Control Alt click, and I'm going to press the hotkey. I'm going to say N, Control Alt key, click, and M. Okay, we got N and M. So when I bring my cursor here, alright, I'm press M, 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 M. Well, I'm just clicking it and it's not going fast enough, so I'll just hold the M key down until it gets bigger and bigger real quick. So I find my settings, and you can see my draw size says 100. This is a quick way of doing it. Okay, I have a reason why I'm doing this. Alright, and it has to be precise. We want to have a square cube when we extrude this, and I'll show you a reason why. So if we right click, and then we're going to go to extrude, then we're going to use the step by brush here. When I drag it out, well, the next cube that comes out is not square. Alright, but if I drag it again, well, actually them two there almost, well, they do equal that one, the previous one. Well, we can take a measurement by going to move here, and if I was to click a point and drag to this point, look up in the left hand corner, it says 0.4 units. And if I go from this point back to this point, 0.4 units. Okay, so how do I make it one equal cube? Alright, let's go to draw size here, Control Z, Control Z. So it took me 2 of these to make one of them. Well, then we'll have to double up the draw size. So the draw size is 100. Let's make that 200 now. Tab key, and when I drag out, this should be a completely square cube. Let's double check that. Alright, let's start down here and drag down just to make sure. You can check all the way around it. 0.04 units. Over here, 0.04 units. And drag here. 0.04 units. And drag here. 0.4 units. Now, between this point and this point, it says 0.04 units. I can change this to anything that I want. I can go to the preference. If I don't understand units, you can make it anything you want. Go to transpose, go to units, and we'll set units, and you can name it anything that you want. You can name it Z inches or whatever, but for right now I'm just going to call it inch. Alright, now it's telling me 0.4 inch. Between them 2 points, I don't want it 0.4. I don't really understand 0.4. It'd be better off to make an even number, so I'll go to calibration, type in 1, press enter, Now between this point and this point is always going to be an inch. So anywhere I drag down or to another point, it should equal 1 inch to make it a square, no matter which way I go. So you're probably saying, okay, you can extrude that with another square here. Well, there's a lot more than that you can imagine. I don't know if you can imagine it, but anyway, I'm going to show you a little demonstration, because anything that's kind of square, well, that is square, will make a tube. And I got a hotkey for my dynamic subdivision. Press Z, and it's make like a tube out of it. I don't want to say it's like tube or cube, but anyway, what you can do with this is you can just kind of drag out this way, drag out that way, drag out that way. And I got some hotkeys for my I got another program that I'm using for hotkeys. It's my macro, and if you want to know about that, it's in another video tutorial. I'm going to be using my hotkeys for this. And I got one for inset. If I wanted to drag right here, actually when I drag right here for the inset, this is a completely square because it came from a completely square cube. If I click here, then I'm going to choose my hotkey with my scroll mouse wheel. And then I'm going to drag to fuse these together and press the Z key here. Then we can get something like this. Now I made a trombone using this method. Okay, let me show you here in the white box here, and I think it was under tools and right here. And I took this cube and I had equal spacing all the way around it. Now you can see right here it lost its equal spacing. Is because I end up extruding from here all the way around. That way I can make, when I extruded these two bars across, they would be right across from each other. Later on I end up deleting a bunch of these edges right here because I really didn't need them. Then you get something like this. This is basically how I made the trombone. I had paused ZBrush and restarted it, and just wanted to show you one little pointer here. Well, actually want to go over a thing or two here. Just because I showed you one way does not mean there's not another way. Particular, I do not like to drag out my draw sizes large. It has some benefits and sometimes it don't. I mean, you can change the draw size and still draw a cube. If you right click here and you can change your step size. Well, once I move my draw size and adjust my step size, I can still draw out of the cube. But the problem is, anytime I make any changes later and I try pulling out, well, I might not drag out another cube the equal size. I do notice that if I go with the method that I showed you earlier about taking the radius of the circle and doubling it by the draw size, anytime that I change the settings and go back to anything, back to the original step brush again, it seems to always work without having to mess with anything else.